back. This is a Chimera Elite, and today we're taking a look at the wolfen Crossbowmen. The Tier 1 wolfen Crossbowmen, and just the Crossbowmen in general, Tiers 1 through 3, are all woefully underappreciated, and to be honest, as a wolfen player, I would not, under pretty much any circumstances, trade any one of my units that I'm running right now for a wolfen Crossbowman. They're just not really worth it. The Tier 1 wolfen Crossbowman, wolfen Assault Crossbowman, is interesting. He costs 59 AP. He's a bit slower than the typical wolfen at 5 hexes, and he has the normal movement speed, the normal health rather. He has Assault Fire, which is, it's okay. You can shoot, and then that's immediately followed up by a charge attack, which admittedly allows for a nice quick burst of damage. And also, along with slightly augmented fear, he has fear 13, compared to the tier 1, or rather all the tiers of the Fang Warrior, whose max is 12. It's nice. But the two things that make the tier 1 the most interesting is contact shot, which makes the Crossbowman able to actually aim and make shots even while engaged in melee combat range without penalties, which is pretty good, and it's a good trait for that any ranged unit should have. And Fierce essentially gives the unit essentially minus, well, not even -6, but -6 on all its attributes, and you can't pursuit movement off of it. So let's say Ryscar comes up, kills this guy. He doesn't kill it. He brings him down to 0 HP, and until the end of the turn, that unit is alive. And if he hasn't gone yet, he can make an attack, even though, again, all his stats are severely penalized. Again, the Tier 1 Crossbowman comes at 59 AP, and in my opinion, he's one of the more viable options, at least compared to the Tier 3. The Tier 2 Wolfen Raider comes in at 59 AP, the same cost as the Tier 1 Wolfen Assault Crossbowman. But that's really where the similarities end. He has better movement, lower damage, and better dodge than the Tier 1. And if you look at his abilities, his purpose becomes crystal clear. Instinctive Firing cancels the shooting penalties when moving and reduces the risk of scattering for all shots made by the unit. This means that if you move, you get no penalties. And the second part is scattering. Scattering is if there are other units around the unit that you're trying to shoot, there's a chance that your shot will miss or ricochet or just go wild and hit one of those other targets. With him, that chance is severely reduced. His second attribute is elusive, which grants a 30% bonus to avoid attacks of opportunity during disengagement. Again, huge if you're an archer or a ranged unit that's trying to get the hell away from someone who's in your face wailing on you. And the last and his only ability is harassment, and that just flat out tells you what he's for. He's used to harass. He has good movement, and he doesn't get penalties for moving and shooting. And harassment kind of puts a cherry on top. This unit adapts a mobile stance, which makes him lose 3 accuracy for the turn, and you can move before and after you shoot. Now, it's a pretty good ability, truth be told. But with his accuracy, that drops your accuracy down to 6, which is honestly terrible. So the biggest thing here is picking and choosing your targets, because if you don't, let's say you're facing another wolfen and you have this guy, I will find you and I will kill you if you even try to use harassment. Because wolfen pretty much all have fantastic dodge. I don't think there's one wolfen that has below 9 or 10 dodge, except for Calaris, and he's a big walking target. That's totally different. He's an interest if you pick your targets well, and let's say you shoot Arrhenius or somebody else who's in heavy armor and doesn't really have that forethought to get the hell out of the way of the arrow, you should be good. But you have to really be careful at which targets you choose to use harassment on, because you have to make every shot count. The tier 3 Wolfen Harpooner he's an oddball. He's interesting. He comes in at 3 more AP than tier 1 and tier 2, but he's the slowest of the bunch. He has 4 movement, he has the worst accuracy of the bunch, but he has the most damage also. This guy is meant for one thing and one thing only. He takes down big targets. He's a wolfen harpooner. He doesn't shoot a crossbow, he shoots a goddamn harpoon. And, because he's the simplest of the bunch, he has one ability: aim. This marksman stops to aim at his target and to inflict a devastating strike for 3 more damage. So he's hitting for 15, which is pretty damn good. 7 accuracy. This is kind of the same thing I was saying with the tier 1, rather tier 2 crossbowmen and that harassment stance. Pick and choose your goddamn targets. If you're facing Wolfen, for the love of God, don't even think of using this guy, because you need all the accuracy you can get. If you're up against the lion or undead, who just in general don't have very good dodge, you should be fine. But still, this guy is very situational, and unless you know what you're going up against and you have a good idea, it's usually best to stay away from him. Hope you guys enjoyed this little in-depth thing I did. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'll see you guys around. Peace.